Let's take a look at how you can create a macro form which allows the users to enter information into the system or choose certain information from various tables in the system. It can be, for example, account, date, items, amount, and so on. For that, we have a withered object in the system, and this object contains different type of requirements, such as, for example, account, banks, cash flow categories. So the users can choose different type of information here. They can display a table as well, and so on. Now let's look at how this object can be used. In order to let the users choose the account they want to work with, we should prepare this macro, and if we use this one, for example, it allowed the users to select the item, and in order to let the user enter some amount, we should use this macro, and so on. And then in order to display a wizard, which is a special screen, we should use this show wizard macro. As you can see here, this is a portion of macro code. I will talk about it later, but now if we run this macro, we'll see the screen with different wizard objects on it. These are objects which has been prepared by these macro commands. The first macro here is account requirement. So if we press this button, we'll go to the chart of accounts screen where the users can choose the account which they need. And the next macro command is item requirement. So if we press this button, we'll go to the items list, and this amount macro allow the users to put some amount in this field. So in this way you can prepare the macro form, and then user can fill in that form like this. Now let's talk about these wizard objects. We should pay attention to the order of these macro commands, because how we arrange them here, it will determine the order of the wizard objects on the macro form screen. For example, if we change the order of these macros and move, let's say, amount object macro up at the top and run, we'll see exactly the same order on this screen. So now the amount object is first, followed by account and item objects. And each of these wizard objects has a parameter, message text, where we need to specify what this object is about. So I'm gonna tell, for example, specify amount here and the first object. Let's tell supplier account in the second one, and select an item in the third object. And now if we run, it will become clear for the user what this object is going to do. And in the next parameter, we should specify the page number on the form screen where we want this object to be placed, because if we have many such objects, there may not be enough space for them on one page. For example, I'm gonna add other objects, let's say text box, datetime object, this option button object, and I'm gonna specify the first parameter and these objects as well. So let's put comment here in this text box object, operation date in this one, and let's say is it empty here in this radio button object. You can put any text you need in this parameter, of course. And now let's tell here and these two objects to place them on the second page. And let's place this last one on the page 3. And now if we run, we'll see these objects which have been created at first on the first page, comment and operation date on the second page, and the last one on the third page, as we indicated in the macro. And these objects have another parameter that determines whether it's required for this object to enter a value on the form screen or not. For example, the mount object requires the value to be specified, so we need to tell true here. We need to do the same in case of the text box object. And now if we run, we'll see a red frame around the field which is required to be filled in, and you can't go to the next page until there is a value here. And on the next page we must specify the value in the comment field, and so on. And another parameter these wizard objects have as default value. In our case, there is no value in this parameter, so the user should enter the value on the form screen by themselves, but it may be helpful if we provide the user with probable default value. For example, here in the amount object, we can specify probable amount in this parameter. And also here in the count object, we can tell, for example, count 3110. And on the form screen, the user will get those values and the corresponding fields by default. And also some of these objects, like for example account object, have filter tool. Usually when the users go to the chart of accounts screen, they can see full list of accounts here, but if the user wants to see this list filtered in certain way, we can write SQL command right here and this parameter, or we can go to the chart of accounts screen and create filter here. For example, let's say the user wants to see only accounts which starts with 31. I'm gonna copy this command to the clipboard and I'm gonna paste it here in this parameter. So now if we go to the chart of accounts screen, we will see that this list is filtered according to the SQL command. But here, as it was in case of the interface object, when the users go to the filter screen, they will see only SQL command and can't see what filter has been used. So we recommend you to copy the XML command instead of SQL command. And paste it here in this macro. And now when the user will go to the chart of accounts screen, he can see the filter which has been used and there is the SQL command, of course.